His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, issued Royal Decree number 15 of the year 2018, which entitles the establishment of the King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence, chaired by Dr. Sheikh Khalid bin Khalifa Al Khalifa. This is a great and important step towards the service of tolerance, peace, and peaceful coexistence, not just in Bahrain and the region, but the entire globe.
A message that tolerance and coexistence is in the culture of Bahrain. When I arrived to the kingdom and I took the appointment as the United Nations Resident Coordinator, I really realized that as well. So, and it helps a lot in societies that can bond and get ideas from different culture. And that helps in progress. It helps in development. It helps in getting opportunities for the young people, either the young people in Bahrain who would aspire to go abroad, or looking at opportunities from the different culture when they bring businesses here and open opportunities for as well Bahraini.
The establishment of the center marked a new chapter in the process of tolerance and brotherhood in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and the importance of joint efforts that serve the people's aspirations for peaceful coexistence and the stability of the region and all societies, and to confront all attempts to spread hatred, violence, extremism, and terrorism.
Bahrain is a special place where coexistence is actually applied, and you can realize it when you come to the airport. I always say to colleagues coming from New York and Geneva, there is a chemistry here in Bahrain that you only get to know when you come to the airport. I cannot describe it, I cannot explain it, it exists. And it's a model that I have been with my colleagues in the United Nations portraying abroad, saying that there are many good examples here that other countries, other nations can learn from. It's seldom to see in an Arab country to have so many culture and have so many different varieties of nations being represented here. So we're very pleased to be here in Bahrain, supporting its development, supporting its Vision 2030, and supporting it to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal. There is one which is called partnerships, and that is goal number 16. Goal number 17 about partnership and peace. Goal 16 and 17 both address partnerships and peace and strong institution, and that can only happen when you have a society that accepts each other, and that is what we see here in Bahrain.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
From the perspective of the principles of the Declaration of the Kingdom of Bahrain formulated by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and inspired by his great humanistic ideas and aspirations. The center embodies in its vision, mission, and objective the principles derived from the history and civilization of the Kingdom of Bahrain through its ages, which is the openness to all civilizations, religions, and cultures, and the promotion of values of coexistence, tolerance, and peace.
Only diversity is not enough for cohesive, consolidated work. Unity without diversity is uniformity. But two in balance, two in respect are very important for living together in dignity. We are not perfect, we have many problems, but European Union was born from the ashes of world wars and divisions and genocide. And it's a real example that it's possible to transform relations between people, countries, nations, from animosity and atrocities into friendship, cooperation, coexistence.
The aim of the center is to highlight the value system of civilizations and cultures, to promote the process of tolerance and peaceful coexistence through it, and to raise awareness of the importance of the convergence of civilizations and their integration in order to achieve world peace and common human life. Also to promote world peace and coexistence among human beings.
The happiness that I saw in the faces of the Vaishnavas in Bahrain, that is what we call the devotees, as named as Vaishnavas. They were enjoying, and I really thank His Majesty and his ancestors for giving the permission to practice our religion in open, and that's been 200 years now.
Another goal of the center is show the positivity of pluralism and the diversity of coexistence and tolerance in the present Bahraini society.
Amazon Web Services Summit in Bahrain took place on September 15th, bringing technologists together to connect, collaborate, and learn more about Amazon Web Services. With the recent launch of Amazon Web Services Middle East region in Bahrain, the summit was an opportunity for attendees to learn more about the new infrastructure and how they can benefit from it to innovate and grow.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the youths of Bahrain on the launch of Faras, which is a strategic partnership between the private sector and the public sector, represented by the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Labour. Of course, this is the brainchild of His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports. What the program does is it democratizes and liberalizes opportunities for youth. Particularly Bahraini youth at this point in time. What we do is we find internships both in Bahrain and more importantly outside of Bahrain. For example, with Amazon, we're looking at internships in London, internships in Atlanta, and what this is going to do is it's going to allow the Bahraini youth to benchmark their skill sets with international skill sets and allow us to garner that experience and just simply cross-pollinate. So once again, I'd like to thank Amazon, I'd like to thank the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, and thank, of course, the Chamber of Commerce and the Ministry of Labour on all the effort they've invested in launching this project.
The full-day summit also included various educational and training sessions on topics ranging from getting started on Amazon Web Services to deep dives into innovative cloud technologies such as machine learning, serverless computing, data analytics, and much more. The keynote was delivered by Teresa Carlson, Vice President Worldwide Public Sector, Amazon Web Services, who highlighted how the newly launched regional data centers bring flexible, affordable, reliable, and secure cloud computing technologies close to end users in the Middle East, helping organizations speed up their digital transformation initiatives and more rapidly innovate for the citizens of the region.
Well, the summit highlights how customers in the region have leveraged the cloud. The cloud is new. The cloud is an exciting place to develop application, and sometimes people fear the unknown, and this summit helps to break that fear and educate the local companies and local governments on how best to leverage the cloud and showcase what local companies have been able to achieve, what the government has been achieved, what private sector has been able to achieve using AWS cloud. I mean, the youth is an interesting side. The youth is more fresh in its thinking, and so the cloud will enable the youth to probably innovate in the cloud and create a business in the cloud with the lowest cost possible. I mean, as you know, small businesses and really new products that come into the cloud usually cost a lot to do it the traditional way. But with the cloud, the development can be more agile, and the infrastructure needed to leverage this to deploy this application can be small and grow gradually with the entrepreneurs that are coming in. So the young entrepreneurs that want to establish a business can do so in the cloud and do it at the lowest cost possible. As their business grows, that infrastructure will grow with them, and so it will not be a cost hindrance. I think what you will see is the cloud provides the technical infrastructure, but there is a lot of add-on that you can add to the cloud, and so more vendors will come into the AWS cloud and sell their products, not through the traditional means, but through the marketplace, and grow their business that way instead of the traditional sales force that they have.
The keynote also featured AWS customer presentations by Sheikh Salman bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, Deputy Chief Executive, Operations and Governance, Bahrain Information and E-Government Authority.
With the recent launch of the AWS Middle East in Bahrain, it allowed the startups, government entities, alongside the enterprises actually to run their applications and save their data in the Middle East itself. That by itself is a huge accomplishment for the Kingdom of Bahrain. The event today, it did not only focus on the benefits of those of this region that was recently launched, which is endless, which has endless benefits like the improving the job market and bringing training opportunities for Bahrainis and whatnot, but also focus mainly on the innovation aspect that this AWS offers for the startups, for the young, for the youth, for all the enterprises that are in Bahrain. The innovation focus in this event was mainly on how those organizations can get the maximum out of the employees rather than just focusing on the servers and the day-to-day operations, but move their focus more towards the how they can actually improve the business going forward and to benefit the Kingdom of Bahrain.
The day also included a We Power Tech panel discussion, bringing together leading women in technology who are driving digital transformation across organizations in the Middle East, powered by diversity and inclusion. In July, Amazon Web Services announced the opening of the Amazon Web Services Middle East Bahrain region. With this launch, Amazon Web Services now spans 69 availability zones with 22 geographic regions around the world. The new Amazon Web Services Middle East Bahrain region offers 3 availability zones. Amazon Web Services regions are composed of availability zones, which each comprise at least one data center and are located in separate and distinct geographic locations with enough distance to significantly reduce the risk of a single event, impacting business continuity, yet near enough to provide low latency for high availability applications.
Very glad to take part in this very important summit, and we are really thankful to the AWS for organizing this event in the Kingdom of Bahrain. We're really proud that the Kingdom of Bahrain, as usual, is hosting such an important summit, which comes at the right time. Today, the students, they are starting the schools or the universities, and I think the youth has got a lot to do, especially with His Highness Sheikh Nasser yesterday announcing the Foras program or Foras project. So I think there's a lot that the youth in Bahrain can do, and with the technology and the advancement of technology and high tech, there's a lot that the youth can do and start their own business, and this opens a big window, in fact, for them to start their own business in an excellent way, in a different way, not to wait for the job to come to them, but they go, they start their own business, and in fact they become a partner to help the government in generating employment opportunities. And hence by that, this is the importance of entrepreneurship and starting your own business, that you shift from being a receiver or waiting for the job, you become a job creator instead of a job applicant. So I think this AWS Summit comes at the right time, advancing
the high tech in the Kingdom of Bahrain and helping especially the youth and the citizens in general to start their own business in the high tech, which is a very promising field.
Amazon Web Services customers focused on high availability can design their applications to run in multiple availability zones to achieve even greater fault tolerance. Amazon Web Services infrastructure regions meet the highest levels of security, compliance, and data protection. Minister of Works, Municipalities Affairs and Urban Planning has announced the opening of the first seafront fully dependent on renewable energy, Busaitin Seafront Project, this month. The project, he said, will serve as a starting point for other new ones as part of the ministry's future policy, like using solar energy and agricultural projects. The minister was speaking as he opened Bahrain Smart City Summit 2019 in the presence of senior officials and with the participation of more than 30 keynote speakers and experts from the public and private sectors.
I was very impressed to see how many people were interested in the topic of smart cities in Bahrain. Today we saw representatives from the private sector, from the public sector, who all share a vision for this country. A lot of countries in our region are facing challenges that are resulting from the change in climate globally. Therefore, we need to use the best knowledge we have in trying to combat the negative impacts. And smart cities, of course, are in a way sustainable since they take into account methods and techniques through which we could foster a more sustainable society and community. I'll be talking about the link between cities and green buildings. And in today's world, in order to be green, you need to be smart. And there are many softwares, techniques, elements that enhance the greenness of a building that also lead to the creation of a smarter presence, and all fit into that fabric that connects buildings to cities, to transport, to waste management. So applying these techniques helps in promoting smarter cities in Bahrain and beyond. I believe that a very big challenge in our part of the world is climate change. With climate change, we expect a rise in sea levels, a rise in temperature. This requires us to use the best technologies we have in order to adapt to this changing reality. So I believe here we have educated people, we have the political will. I believe from what I saw today, all together could help in combating these negative impacts in a very positive manner. And of course, Bahrain is an ancient country. It survived through thousands of years, and I'm very positive about the future and how the citizens and the leadership of Bahrain would deal with the current reality.
He noted the ministry's keenness to carry out purposeful initiatives in developing smart cities within the framework of implementing development and infrastructure projects in accordance with modern trends. He pointed out the ministry's efforts to achieve the vision and contribute to attaining the global sustainable development goals by organizing the 4th edition of the conference and creating an associated exhibition with the participation of over 20 parties from the public and private sectors. The exhibition is considered the first of its kind in Bahrain concerned with smart cities. The kingdom hosted for the first time Regional Director of the World Green Buildings Council's MENA Network, Mohammed Asfour, who gave a presentation on the latest developments in the green building sector. Electricity and Waters Affairs Minister, Dr. Abdul Hussein bin Ali Mirza, said smart cities are areas built using digital and engineering technologies to improve the economic and social conditions of the residents of these cities by providing and facilitating their access to services.
Diyar Muharraq is the biggest master plan development in Bahrain. And to be the biggest, you have to adopt all the new technologies and systems. To be part of this, we should be a smart city. Today, smart and high technology is part of our life, in our mobiles, in our life, in our work, everything. And houses, real estate is a major part of this. We have to be part of it.
I believe that Bahrain is heading into a new era where sustainable cities and urbanization is very important to become part of this economic growth that Bahrain is looking forward to. And everything in life is transforming and changing into the IT community, where we are combining engineering, urbanization into the ICT world. And I believe that this event could be a major role player in this development and growth, and I'd like to see Bahrain actually step ahead and step forward into creating some type of smart cities that we can actually live in and live by and improve. I believe the barriers is that what could be the issues that Bahrain would face into adapting these type of cities or these types of ICT solutions in Bahrain. Okay, Bahrain is a very small country, it's easy to adapt changes and things like that, but how will the community be ready for the change like this, or how can they change from manual things or normal cities into becoming a smart city itself?
He pointed out that smart cities will rely on sustainable and renewable energy, such as solar and wind energy. He underlined the kingdom's interest in the sustainable energy sector and keenness on sustainable development, pointing out the important steps taken by the government to encourage investment in renewable energy. He also pointed out the national goals set by the government to increase the users of renewable energy to 5% by 2025 and 10% by 2030. The summit featured many activities, including panel discussions and work papers.
Binayat will add value to the smart cities, where the system is based on the GIS system and a very smart and a smart system that will provide an auto approval for lots of building permits, which will reduce the time and duration required to have a building permits in Bahrain. It will be a very excellent solution to address our challenges, where we need the investors to attract investors in Bahrain. The aim of Binayat is actually to reduce the duration taken to issue a building permits in Bahrain. It will support the concept of model and future cities in Bahrain, where we have based the system on the GIS system, which is a very smart solution actually to get the regulations of the lands, where you just need to add the parcel numbers and it will automatically give you the regulation and approve regulation. So you don't need to wait to get in lines and to actually visit the municipality to get the approvals or either the regulations itself.
Well, we're very proud to be one of the Bahrain Smart Cities Summit knowledge partners. We've been working very closely with Danae and Waleed and the team for the last 12 months to ensure that there is proper representation at the events for people looking for advisory aspects to their summits and their sustainable projects. It's very important that we're here to be able to support them today. Well, I think there's a number of aspects to it. So when we think of smart cities today, we think of technology-driven aspects, and those things are important. So AI, technology, they're very, very important aspects in creating the smart cities that we crave. In the Middle East, we are starting from a slightly lower benchmark in terms of achieving levels of sustainability, high levels of quality in our buildings. So we have a little bit to move towards, but as part of those quality buildings and communities and project environments, the technology side is going to become ever more important. And Bahrain has a great platform to offer on the technology side. I think what I would say is it's a real pleasure to be here today, and we are delighted to be a knowledge partner with Smart Cities. And what we're really pleased to see today is that we have a full room. Every seat at the venue is taken. There is a real interest in what we're doing today, and we hope to see just as many people tomorrow.